Kingdom Kids, get ready, cause it's time for another adventure.
CC, it's story time. CC, it's story time. CC always telling the stories. Pink hair and socks, and she's never boring. Whiteboard with the orange tie. You need a recap? Derek is your guy. Oh, with a flow so cold. Everybody get ready for adventure mode. Heather with the crew that's so disruptive. Hey, what's that? Friendly interruption. Kingdom Kids, yeah, Kingdom Kids. Kingdom Kids, yeah, Kingdom Kids.
Welcome back, Kingdom Kids. I'm super duper glad you joined us on another adventure. We haven't had a great big question in so long, but I'm glad we finally have one this time. In today's lesson, we're going to answer the great big question, who protects us? But before we do that, we need a recap. Take it away, Derek.
The Lord told a man named Hosea to go marry a woman who was not faithful to Hosea because the people of Israel were not being faithful to the Lord. So Hosea married Gomer, and she left to be with other people. The Lord was using Gomer as an example of the Israelites. Even though Hosea was a good husband who provided for Gomer, she still turned away from Hosea and went to be with others. In the same way, God freed the Israelites from the Egyptians and gave them the land to stay where He provided for them, but they acted like Gomer and they turned away from the person who cared for them. Time after time, the Israelites turned away from God. When God would punish them for their sins, they would return to God and follow His commandments. Hosea realized the lesson God was trying to teach him through his wife, so he turned to the people of Israel and warned them. But the people of Israel did not listen and would not turn from their evil ways. Wow, talk about disobedience. Anyways, back to you, Cece.
Wow. You know, that story almost reminds me of this one time when my friend...
We interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this friendly interruption. Hopefully Joe will make you laugh with today's joke.
Hey, Kingdom Kids! Welcome back with some more Jokes with Joe! I got something that'll surely make you laugh. You ready? What do you call cheese that's not yours? It's nacho cheese! This is nachos!
Do you know what? I'm sure his jokes will be better with time. Hopefully. Take it away, Cece.
Wow, Joe, I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty funny joke. Maybe he's getting better. Or not. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for...
Adventure Mode!
The Israelites often left God and forgot all of the good things that God gave to them. They would turn away from His commandments and would worship false gods such as Baal or golden calves. The Lord was not happy with the children of Israel and would take His hand of protection off of them. The Israelites would realize that God loved them dearly and provided and protected them from evil things, so they would return to Him and worship Him and Him only. This was a cycle with the Israelites, and they would do this over and over again. The Israelites started to act out again, and this time, God sent prophets to warn the people of Israel that if they continued in their life of sin, He would take His hand of protection off of them. But the people of Israel did not listen. In fact, they started to act and do even worse things than before. God loved the people of Israel dearly and didn't want them to stay in their life of sin and destruction. So He took His protection off of the children of Israel and waited for them to come back to Him. One day, a man named Hoshea began to rule over Israel. He did what the Lord said was wrong and led the Israelites away from the Lord. King Shalmaneser of the land named Assyria came to fight against Hoshea and defeated him. So Hoshea paid tribute to Shalmaneser. That meant that he would pay a certain amount of money every year to King Shalmaneser. Later, King Hoshea sent messengers to the king of Egypt named So and asked for help. He did not ask for help from God. That year, Hoshea did not pay tribute to the king of Assyria as he did every other year. The king of Assyria learned that Hoshea had made plans against him. So he arrested Hoshea and put him in jail. The king of Assyria attacked many places in Israel. He captured many Israelites and made them march hundreds of miles to Assyria and took them as prisoners. They destroyed northern cities of Israel and took the Israelites from their homeland. These things happened because the Israelites had sinned against the Lord their God, and it was the Lord who brought the Israelites out of the land of Egypt. But the Israelites began worshiping other gods. They began doing the same things that the other people did. The Israelites did things against the Lord their God, and those things were wrong. So he stopped protecting the children of Israel. And that's what we learned on
Adventure Mode!
Wow, this lesson was crazy, and it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. The Israelites really got taken captive. I wonder what's going to happen to them. I guess we'll find out in the next lesson, but in the meantime, we can answer our great big question. In our lesson, we heard that God loved his people too much to let them live in their life of sin. So instead of letting them stay in rebellion, he took his hand of protection, which made them change their ways. The Lord wants his children to obey him and follow him, but the Israelites didn't do that. Instead, they followed false idols and worshiped false gods. But as we'll see, God always loves his children, and he loved them so much that he didn't want them to stay in their life of sin. So, to answer our great big question, who protects us? The answer is God does. Well, Kingdom Kids, thanks so much for helping me answer this great big question. I'll see you next time. Bye!